Hello, I'm very late. I apologize. Oh, sorry. I am massively struggling. I was getting stuff ready nice and early, except then struggling to get programs to work. It took me like 10 minutes to fix things, and 5 minutes before the stream's meant to start, my blooming second storage drive decides it wants to stop responding. Oh, hi BA Gaming Cyprus, hi Bats, hi Horace Wanderer, hi Briar's Baldness Devil, hi Talan, hi Seradrin, and hi Poseidon9. How are you all doing? And hello Chaplain. So many of you today, and a bunch of people, you know, who haven't been here recently. Oh, Bats Gaming Cyprus and Horace Wanderer. It's been a while. I'm not a cat, but yeah, sorry about being late. Oh, if I don't have the patience for, you know, jokes making fun of me and stuff, I'm just a bit stressed. I am stressed. You came from Bio. Oh, did Bio raid? Did Bio raid? Did I miss it? Was I busy starting soon? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, no, no. Ah! Oh, Briar's Baldness Devil. Hello, how are you doing, everyone, though? Oh my goodness. I am just a bit stressed. Blooming computer being mean to me. Oh. Darn it, now there's physically things are just breaking around me as well. It's just one of those days. It's one of those days, you know. Trying to get stuff done and everything's just like, nah, not today. I didn't see a raid message, must have been for wind. I decided to visit and say hi. Oh! That makes a lot of sense. Well, I hope you don't spread Briar's baldness to me. I hope you don't coming around spreading baldness. I need my hair frosting. I need my hair frosting. It was the wind. It was the wind. Oh. But I think my shout out command should now be working. Hey Cupcake, your cat took control of your stream. No. This is me. I'm not a cat. I just look kind of like one because person cursed with a spell. Baldness only applies to goob. Well, we're not goob today. We're not goob today, so that should be. I'm very good at putting gloves on. So this is my thumb. This is a finger next to my thumb. This is my middle finger. This is my pinky, and this is the finger next to my pinky. There we go. Hyper-realistic cat cupcake. Yeah! Hello, Miss Cat. Have you seen our streamer? No, I am the streamer. You're so mean. No! Just because I got turned into a cupcake that looks like a cat doesn't mean I'm no longer Cupcake. Did everything get bigger, or is the camera closer to the... It's closer to the workspace, you know? Because I thought it's a painting stream. There's lots of details and small models. Oh, yeah. I was not good at the text here. Cat cake conjurer. No! Oh, I think there's a little bit of work. Oh yeah, the article dried here, but it kind of looks terrible on this shoulder pad. But we live and we learn. Looking at all of this, I did do a little bit more work. Like I decided to change this to blue rather than white. Not sure it's good. As blue. Also, I do need to do a bit more there, don't I, for white. You put too much on that shoulder. I don't think it's just too much. I think it's because it's all collected around the bobbles on the shoulder. Like, I did try to spread it out and stuff. But, yeah. I think it's because it's connected to the baubles. I actually put a lot more on this. And you can tell I put a lot more on it. But I think it kind of worked out in the end. Hi, TA, how you doing? Cat cake conjurer pog. What even is Warhammer? I don't know. So it's basically little minifigures. And you play with your minifigures. And you roll a bunch of dice. And there's also cyborg babies. Maybe a real painting of the cupcakes we made along the way. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, Warhammer Warhammer 40k is set in the year roughly 40,000. Or it's more like 41,000 at the moment. And it's all about the Empire of Humanity has become kind of evil, crazy, and just like there's no idea what it's doing, but it's spread across most of the galaxy. You got a bunch of aliens that don't really like the humans. A bunch of weird, chaotic gods who don't really like the humans. A bunch of humans who don't like the other humans. And you've also got some weird Skynet death robots. Some weird bugs that want to eat everything. You got all sorts of things. Hello! It's Briar's Yuji Itadori. Hello, how you doing? And hello, Chaos Smiths. Is that Albatronic? Albatronic! I recognise the profile picture. Hello! Yeah, so this is what we're paid out. No, you're doing well. How are you? I'm doing well too. My tum-tums is a bit meh. But yeah, these are things we've painted so far. Oh, yeah. And this guy. Yeah. I feel like I need to do a bit of gold highlighting here because it started to look more bronze rather than gold. And I need to do a bit more white on that. The alternate universe Yuji when he is Malaysian. Is that from, what's it called? Why is Briar owning Yuji Itadori? Mohammed Yuji Itadori bin Shin Itadori? Oh, hello Blair Boris. How you doing, the girl with all the gifts? The girl with all of the gifts. What am I doing? I don't know. Oh yeah, so today we'll paint this dude. He's got an Imperial Fist head and an Imperial Fist shoulder pad. But he's actually a Templar, as you can see. Templar. The Imperial Fist. Oh, so what this is meant to represent is that this guy served alongside the Imperial Fists at one point, like in a campaign. Which actually, the new box set's kind of about that, isn't it? Yeah, so he fought at the Eye of Terror with the Imperial Fist, and my models that did that, or most of them, I'm having like a little story where they wear Imperial Fist shoulder pads, and maybe their left arm will be yellow, like the Imperial Fist colour scheme. I think that might be funny. If only you can gamble. If only you can gamba. Gamba! You can actually. You can. If you want to do... well, you can't actually with seal sprinkles. Yeah, you're going to have to wait a few minutes to get enough sprinkles to gamble with. But you can use a slots command. You can use a slots command. Have you ever tried cleaning your workstation? Yeah, this does not come off. Like... I can take a knife to this stuff and it's only coming off if I cut out chunks off this. It's because it's paint. It's the same type of paint. Go ahead, Unk. Oh no. Oh no, you gave him 10,000 sprinkles. Oh, that's your other account. No! Talan gave him sprinkles. And they just like, yeah, I'm not using that account anymore. Happy dance while painting and my new noise, Marines and Lord Discord. Nice! Oh, they're making little music for you. Oh, Sarah went. Oh, you failed. You were close. You were close to greatness. No! Talan, don't explode him. So, yeah, my tummy is being very painful right now. It's got some stress. But before we do that, let's do this guy. Where's my magnifying glass? Is this light on? It is. Good. There we go. Do you want to make that bright to blue? Might be a good idea. Nah, it's fine as it is. Muscles. Muscles. Oh, you won 5,000. Wait, I thought you failed. Oh, no, you did a second one. You did a second one. Okay, it makes more sense. So we can use this. Wait, why is it not working? Why is my... Just give me a moment. There we go. Yeah! Muscles! Work out! If you want to know why the model actually has muscles, you have to ask a model artist, Nico, who decides that everything gets muscles. Except my Chibi. My Chibi didn't get muscles. Oh, let's shake up the white scar paint. Look at them guns! There we go. Oh, be careful. I don't want to go for white scar paint. You into the white scar paint, do I? I'm thinking I also want to try painting blonde hair. I'm not entirely sure how I'd go about painting blonde hair. But we're going to try it anyway. Because I think it'll be fun. Possibly use... I don't think so. I think what's going to be better is losing, beige colours. And then maybe highlighting a little bit with, yellowy colours. She does, in fact, not got this. I got this! Ah, I'm a Chibi now! Wait, you wanted the muscles. That's the one gone. Which one's the jacket one? That's the glasses. Yeah! Muscles! Chibi, but look at these noodly arms wibble wobble about. Oh, it's a detective? Oh, no, you have to wait. Yeah, that's why. Gold. What model is even missing a helmet? It's not missing a helmet. So, right there. His helmet's right here. He's just not wearing it. But he does have it. Similarly, this guy does have his helmet. Right here. And this guy right here wears his helmet. But donk! We never miss a helmet. Everyone always has a helmet. Detect evil. No evil. Oh, did it not work? And here you go. Here's a detect evil command. Oh, darn, I got distracted. I'm using the wrong brush. I thought being bald was evil. No! I got fiery eyes and devil horns. That's like evil. Right? Being bald's not evil. I don't have a bald command. Because I'm a cupcake, I don't have hair, I just have fondant. And a cupcake is never without her fondant. Then she just starts being a muffin. Which is related to the cake. They're also friends, not food. They're not cupcakes.
What about me? Why am I bald?
You're not bald, Cuptle. You got a hat on. And you got all of that fondant on your back. Also, you're a cupcake turtle. You're a cupcake turtle, not a cupcake conjurer. Important distinction there. And turtles are in fact bald. So technically Cuptle has a hairy back. No! No! Why are you twisting these things around? Oh gosh, my tum-tums is not very fun right now, I apologise. I apologise if I am being a bit subdued. Just need to calm down. He said fondant was the hat. No, fondant can be anything. Fondant can be clothing. It can be your face. It can be your head. It can be your hair. It can be anything. It can be anything you want it to be. It can be a shell. You know, fondant is very multi-purpose. You wouldn't understand. You're not a cupcake enough. You guys only adopted for cupcakiness. You weren't born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the non-cupcakes until I was already a woman. Did mess up a little bit there. Oh no, he broke! This bit fell off. I'm gonna have to... Well, we're gonna have to avoid painting him for a little bit until the glue's dried anyway. Maybe I can just pick a different model out then. Oh no, I dropped it. It bounced. It flicked away. Okay, I saw it went flying down here somehow. Somewhere. Because it bounced off my workplace, off my desk. Now, so do you want to go bake a cake? Baking cake. Oh yeah, so this thing, it's a rubbery mat. And we're using paint that's, you know, designed to like be on a model and like permanently stay on the model. Kind of. So yeah, it really does not come off from this, because if you look, you can actually see a texture on this. It's kind of porous. Oh, where did it go? Was that it? There it is. Yes, good. So yeah, the paint really does not clean off this. And then a bunch of the issues are just like super glue stuck to it. And then it just doesn't come off because it goes into all of the pores and gets stuck there. Okay, we're just gonna have to let that dry, because if we brush it, it's just gonna damage the brush. What if it's the glue's drying? Just mildly annoying. Because, no, we can get a different brush out now. You still didn't want to go bake a cake. Oh, what's that Lazy Town song? Wanna go bake a cake. Do 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 do. Na 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 na. I don't know that song at all. I just know if it's a Lazy Town song. Apadom block. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a different model out while that one's drying. Okay, anything else? Any corrections need to be made? No, that's fine. I mean, I can just ignore it. Might just be better to ignore it. Okay, let's go and find which is the brush I want to use. It's this one. Then I want to go and get not Shaiish purple, black contrast paint. I'm not gonna need this paint, so I can throw that somewhere. Not gonna need Uriel yellow. Actually, I might need Uriel yellow. That's why I use a different one. Yeah, the one that's already open. Actually, I prefer the sunset yellow. Black contrast. There we go. Contrast black Templars. So I'm thinking is for this arm, we paint it mostly like how we would paint Imperial Fists. So the arm itself will be yellow. The icons on it, I'm thinking I'll do silver. And that will be silver, that will be silver. This will be red. This area, I'm thinking for shoulder pad, I'll paint like how a Black Templar shoulder pad will be. So it'll be white, the symbol being black. Yeah, that could be good. Although trying to paint that circular rim here black will be incredibly difficult. Yeah. Hi, Nano Fate. That will be black. Or gold. We could do that gold. That will be gold. That will be gold. That will be leather. Black, gold. That should be black. Yeah, black here. I think his skeleton hard might be good for his hair. Yeah, let's get the black done first because that's going to be the most difficult colour to do corrections of. I want to use this brush actually. I'll use a different brush. Now, where did I put the little plastic cover for this brush? There it is. Still not found that canopy piece. And I have been trying. A little bit of water. What I need to do is get, some of that medium paint that they do. That you use to water paints down, especially contrast and shades. Ooh. At 6, they should announce what's coming next week. I'm wondering if it's going to be the new custody stuff. I need to remember that needs to be kept clear for the white paint. It's knee pad. So far, for 26 models I wanted to paint, we've got 3 done. Very, very quick painting I am. Oh gosh, my tummy is not very fun right now. But it never rests. No, I've been rewatching Andor. Very good TV show. Very good TV show. Season 1 is better than I remember. I've got onto season 2 and honestly, I've not been finding it as fun as I did on my initial watch. And by fun I mean like as good quality. Been noticing issues. He's got one leg painted. Is it a bee or is it a bit too dark on the screen? I can change the settings a little bit. There we go. That should help a little bit. Oh, yeah. Actually, I should just focus on painting black around areas using this brush and areas where I just don't want it overflowing too much. Because this brush is very good, but it's not going to be very good for painting through wide, large areas as much. Without damaging the brush anyway. There we go. Has anyone had a fun day? It's Mother's Day in Britain at the moment. My mother was visiting her mother all day though. Only came back just as I was starting to stream. Batch painting arcs is fine, but why do I insist on doing 20 of them at a time? Yeah, that's kind of what I felt about these guys. Arcs are much more difficult though. Because, or at least personally I find, for doing batch painting. Because they're such complex models. Like, you don't think of like arcs as super complex, but compared to this, every single model, pretty much, other than the heads, which I do different skin tones for and maybe different hair. Other than the heads, every single model has the exact same colour scheme. They use the exact same colours in 99% of the time, the exact same places. So it's relatively easy just to paint a whole bunch of them because you're just doing the same thing over and over again with each model. Arcs, on the other hand, they've got all these different random scrap plates on them. Each model is kind of, you know, its own thing. As a result, trying to paint them can be kind of difficult because you have to be... And there's lots of details on them. Like this guy, a lot of like the details that could be painted in different colours, I just don't. They're just all black because, you know, that's how Space Marine armour is usually. And there's a lot of details where I do add extra stuff, like these knee pad things. Where I could add extra stuff, I'm choosing not to, but I could. Now, I am adding extra stuff, but I could choose to not add that extra stuff, like the extra colours, and just leave it as this. Arcs, you don't really get that as much. Like, you got all these bolts, you got all these different things within the colour scheme. That pretty much forces your hand. But then a faction where you got lots and lots of models to paint. My mother isn't British, so I had a normal day. Nice. Hi, French Puff.
Puff word of the day. DRSB Tactical Ranged Strike Beams.
Nice. How's your tummy today? Is your tummy feeling better? I certainly hope so. Another day of doing anything other than painting. More of my Hierophant. Oh. Well, you should paint. We're doing a painting stream. Go and paint your Hierophant. Paint along with me. Your tummy's feeling a bit better. Nice! My tummy's not. My tummy's been feeling a bit worse today. Okay, let's look. So that's how far I can go past my magnifying glass. Okay, I'm gonna put this thing a little bit further back. There we go. Might not keep the model on screen as easily, but it just allows me to use my magnifying glass without going on camera. It's very hard to see what's going on here, especially with this dark grey and black. Hard to tell where I've actually painted for black, but that's fine actually, because you're not going to be able to tell easily where I've not painted for black either. Especially with some known oil on this. I refuse. You refuse! Oh my goodness. Well, you can't. Well, that just means that you can't ever make fun of me for not painting anymore. That's just the way it works, Anthony.
You attempt painting and accomplish nothing. I do not attempt. We are not the same.
Look, we finished painting him yesterday. Well, today technically, but we got his eyes done. We got that messed around with. We had hard coat on. We did all the wearing. We got painting done yesterday. I mean, it wasn't very much. But that being said, I was not feeling in a very painty mood yesterday. I want to just yap a bit with you guys. I feel sleepy, but it's only 10:43 AM. No! Honestly, I know that feel. I'm still struggling to get my sleep schedule back on track. I think you finished each Tyranid model about 5 times. What do you mean finished them about 5 times? I finished them once and then I put them away. Maybe they were tabletop ready, like early on, and then they were like decent after that. But you know, also I kept noticing mistakes on them, like after thinking I'm like close to finishing them. Bunge's a little like those shows that went a little too long, reintroducing older characters for the sake of nostalgia. What do you mean? Milk Sideshow Bob sucks. They always suck. No one ever likes Sideshow Bob. That moment you realise a character's opinions are literally just the actor's opinions. But the character is just a psychopathic murderer. There you go. To be honest, Maggie, they do need more episodes focusing on Maggie. She is massively underrepresented. Also for family pets. Like, what happened to the family pets? We rarely ever get to see them anymore. Someone find the real Jim's, whatever his name is. My cat really wants to go outside. He keeps crying. Give him some treats. That'll shut him up for like 50 seconds. I just thought about what Games Workshop needs to release. So one of the when I was looking up about brush care and like how to get the most out of synthetic brushes, one of the things that I found was like using hair care products to make the brushes keep a sharp point. I'm like, Games Workshop could just sell that hair care product at a premium and just call it like a brush care product. And it'll probably sell really well, especially since they sell synthetic brushes. There's a Yakuza-style tattoo of GW on her back. She reveals when someone is saying something anti-capitalism and beats them up. No, I'm just thinking, it's like, that's the kind of thing, like, if I was in Games Workshops, like, if I was a CEO or something, and I had to, like, think of a new product that, you know, related to the Citadel paints, or Warhammer paints as they're now going to be known, I would be like, let's introduce an even smaller brush and let's introduce a brush care product. both a brush soap, because we already know that we can manufacture soap quite easily from the pandemic. If you don't know, during the pandemic, Games Workshop pushed all of their, not all of their paint production, but pushed much of their paint production to producing hand gels, hand sanitizers, which it gave out for free. Going to Games Workshop to get some ultra green hair dye. Yeah! No, brush care product. So, like, do you know, like, the gel thing that you use to get your brushes into a point? They can just sell that. You know, can I get a Graphis Black Templar with a dog on one of their pauldrons? I don't know. I don't have any dog transfers, and I don't know if I can paint a dog. Like on one of these tiny pauldrons. I'm not that good of a painter. And there's certainly not any black dog shape. Actually, wait a minute, there is for Space Wolves. I am planning to get a Death Watch kit for my Plasma Force. That might have a Space Wolf Graphis shoulder pad, in which case it will add one of the related chapters. It might, but if it does, I can put one onto my Black Templars and just like, that will be the closest. Oh, so hi, that guy over there, how you doing? Okay, so this ring wants to be black. Let's see if we can paint it using this brush. Not. The paint doesn't want to flow. Now I'm gonna have to use a different brush for that. Got summoned to lunch, shower time, tears. Bye bye, Chaplain. Thanks for coming to the stream. Let's chat law when you get back. Yeah. I used to paint Warhammer figures, but for dexterity in my hands has gone bad again. Oh no. Yeah. I had an issue when I was writing all the time and doing my manga that eventually I got basically arthritic hands. Technically it wasn't arthritis because the doctors are like, there's no markers of arthritis, you're just getting weird stuff in your joints. No idea what it is. And I still get that from time to time, my hands shaking and seizing up. Warhammer's not too bad for it though. That being said, I don't really have the same stuff in my hands. I don't really require the same amount of finger movement. That's like painting on a canvas or tablet. That being said, I don't paint Warhammer figures to the same extent that I was like having to write and paint every day and do like when I was doing manga. Like having to just spend hours just drawing various scenes and redrawing. Especially when I was doing it traditional. And one of the reasons why I like had a magnifying glass anyway. Because you're having to like sometimes work with extremely small characters in panels. And they're like, no, we want high detail stuff. It's like, yeah, we know that other mangas don't have the high detail stuff in, but yours needs to. And I'm like, why? I'm not even that good compared to others. Okay, what do I want to do? There we go. Luckily my drawing skills is still okay. You can get him back into it again. Ooh, yay! Hope it's going well for you. Yeah, for me it's always my drawing that affected my ability to type. Warhammer challenge, keeping the brush still and having to paint a model by moving the model on the brush. I mean, honestly, I mean, they kind of do that anyway. But here you go. And I'm not very good at keeping the brush still just because my hands are shaking trying to keep it still. But there we go. I mean, it definitely works. I can't do the detailed stuff as much. Like being as exacting. Yeah, I'm gonna damage a brush though if I keep doing that. By bending the bristles all sorts of directions. Start back. Oh god. There we go. For like a minute I wanted to make a Gravis Space Marine army, but my burning hatred of Space Marines won't let me. Oh, Gravis Marines are the best Marines! Closely followed by Centurions, closely followed by Phobos, closely followed by normal Marines, closely followed by Firstborn, closely followed by Eldar Marines. Yeah, I love Gravis dudes. In fact, I've even got a Gravis list. Which is just a Space Marine army. No, it's my heavy detachment. So everyone inside the detachment's in Gravis armor. I think it's got 12 Eradicators. So that's a Melter Cannon guys. 6 Aggressors. 2 squads of 10 Heavy Intercessors who basically hold the back line. 2 squads of 5 Heavy Intercessors. 3 Apothecary Biologists. One that helps lead the aggressors, and the other 2 are only for squads of 10. One chaplain in Graphics Armor, which now uses the new rules of the characters. The Crucible of Champions character rules. One captain who leads the aggressors. Oh yeah, one of the chaplains leads like a squad of 6 eradicators, sorry. And then there's another captain who's meant to represent a lieutenant who leads the other squad of 6 eradicators. Each squad of eradicators, I think, is on a redeemer. The aggressors are on a crusader, and the 2 squads of 5 are on repulsors. And then it's got 2 squads of 3 Inceptors, I believe, a card. So it's basically got every single Graphics unit in it. We're not going to be the only Graphics Marines, because the primary detachment has the Marshal, the Marshal of this Crusade, the High Marshal of this chapter. Is a graphics captain. Who else is there? Oh yeah, and he's got a biologist and 6 aggressors with him. Then the plasma detachment, I think, has 6 Inceptors. Or is it 12? Yeah, with the plasma gun. I can't remember if there were any Inceptors in the Rapid Response Force. Probably, to be honest. Are there any other graphics in the armies? I don't think there is. I think they're the only Graphics Marines. Oh, actually, no. The defensive detachment has 10. Graphics Marines in the army. Heavy intercessors, that's it. Love Graphics Marines. Oh gosh, yawning. When I came back, I was like, what the heck's a Graphics Marine? My goodness, why are Graphics Marines so cool? Oh gosh. There we go. I'm gonna go in here. Some of these bits are hard to reach, but it's fine. More way over here. Don't know how I ended up just traversing way over to there. So I'm thinking of a yellow. We'll do iodine yellow and then I'll go over with a brighter yellow, maybe Bad Moons. I'll see how that looks. You like pyramids? No. Yes. There we go. Pyramids are quite fun. Yeah, I feel like Gravis and Phobos Marines have given Marines more of their own identity. Especially like Chaos has their own identity when compared to normal Marines. We've got lots of stuff going on that a normal Marine army just can't do. And that's kind of always been the case, or at least for a long time. And then you had a bunch of other, you know, factions could make their own Marine equivalents, and they could make their own Terminator equivalents. It was like everything that was uniquely Marine kind of just, you know, stopped existing after a while. Or not stopped existing. It stopped being uniquely Marine. But with Gravis and Phobos, they feel a lot more unique. Oh, there you go. Hello, the Warhammer commenter. How are you doing? We're talking about Gravis Marines and stuff. And while we're painting some Black Templar, this is kind of a colour scheme I'm going for. And like this guy. What we're going to be painting, if you're wondering why it's an Imperial Fist thing, it's because we're going to paint his left arm in Imperial Fist colours to represent he served alongside the Imperial Fists at the Eye of Terror. Yeah. I'm actually painting some aggressors right now. Nice! I've got some aggressors that have been under my desk for months waiting to be built. Right, and this is a chaplain who leads a squad. Oh. Yeah. Not chaplain. What is he called? What is he called? Oh. Ah. Begins with a C. Castellan. Yeah, the Castellan. Or Castellan. How it's meant to be pronounced. I don't know. But yeah, we're talking about Gravis dudes and how cool they are. At least I think they're cool. Chaos doesn't get access to Gravis Marines. Nor Phobos stuff. And most factions that have a Marine equivalent, they don't get as tough as Gravis and as much damage output. And they don't get as stealthy as Phobos. I mean, you do have some accounts like You got the stealth battle suits for the Tau, which have more firepower than Phobos, and are basically just like a better Phobos Marine. Except they suck in melee. I actually have almost all Gravis models that exist. Ooh, nice. Just missing the Apothecary Biologist and Dark Imperium Captain. And 3 Epic Heroes. Ooh. I don't have any of the Epic Heroes or the Dark Imperium Captain. Although the Dark Imperium Captain just looks like the normal Captain. And then the Apothecary Biologist. I do have the Apothecary Biologist. I kind of want to get more. I've made one model that looks like a biologist using spare bits. I've also got a Gravis Chaplain I made out of spare bits. And thanks to the new Crucible rules, I can actually use him as a Chaplain. A Gravis Chaplain. I was just going to use him as a Gravis Captain until then. I've got a Gravis Captain who's I converted to have a giant claw. The Eye of Vartha Fables is pretty cool. Yeah, I kind of want to get him as a tech priest. Sorry. Ow, hi Erland. How you doing? I have some aggressors already built. I built some eradicators, including some of the eradicators that were from the box set with the Necrons, Indomitus box set. I had to convert one to
Top of the morning to you. I'm spitting out snot and blowing out snot out of my nose.
Yeah, thanks for that, Erland. Really wanted to know that. You got 15 heavy intercessors. Ooh, how many do I have currently built? 33. No, 38. I've got 2 squads of 10, 2 squads of 5 built. And I've got a squad of 8. One of them I converted into that chaplain, and one of them I converted into a biologist. Cuptle understand. He always has frosting. Look at Cuptle just like, what? No! Shaking his head. And both varieties of captain. Yeah. I need to get another captain, but I'm planning to convert another Gravis Heavy Intercessor into a Castellan. Gravis Castellan. Just to give it a bit more unique character. And then I need to convert like 2 more into biologists. Well, I've been looking at Troll Trader, and sometimes they have models at a decent price, but if I get one, I want to convert it, so I want to get like the unbuilt version. It's just very hard trying to find one that's not been built. There we go. You can't stop until you have 60 heavy intercessors. Ooh. Yeah, my army lists that I have set up for all my detachments only has 30 heavy intercessors in it, 12 aggressors, 12 eradicators, and a buttload of inceptors. I subbed and see you later. I know you gotta go. Thanks for popping in and thanks for talking to us. Hope you have a good. Thanks for shopping and liking and stuff. Big love hearts to you. Have a good rest of your day. When are you gonna go back to play Total War Warhammer? No idea. Maybe the next update. No. Just waiting on them tigers. The tigers! Yeah! I mean, maybe. I might go back before then because I do want to have a proper Korn campaign. And I do want to have a proper Nurgle campaign. Well, you know, after playing it for so long, it kind of gets a bit samey and repetitive and boring. And on top of that, it's a bit of a buggy mess, to be honest. So, which does not help the entire thing. Like, if we fix one bug, I need to put another bug in or accidentally reintroduce a bug that we already fixed once and was game breaking. Plus, I kind of stopped because there's just so much drama going around the entire thing at one point. I just didn't want to attract all of the drama to my channel. Bestus for Bestus. Yeah, I want to once again try and play the Maggot Lord. Bestus beat us. He beats us. And then maybe after playing the Maggot Lord, we can like try out for different Chaos heroes. Do you know, for Warhammer Warriors of Chaos, that's the one. What other factions haven't we really played much? I could try looking at the lizards in Warhammer 3 because I don't think we've played them in 3. We played them in 2, Skaven as well. Tourmaline. We did do a Batonian campaign. I'm not really a big fan of Beastmen. We could try a Beastman campaign at some point, I guess. Yeah, I've played Beastmen, but only on my own time. I've not played them in 3, actually. I played them in 2, and I got bored very, very quickly with them. I am tempted to play as, you know, for Flying Beastman, because I think it looks cool. I'll never play for One Eye, because, you know, he's the enemy of the best. He's the enemy of, you know, Maoshi. Or his Toddbringer. I kind of want to do a proper Elisif campaign on the channel as well, because we've tried to do it a couple of times, but for whatever reasons, we've not really had a chance to do it fully. The birds are very chatty today. Turf wars. Ooh. Siege must be going crazy for you. Flying one. There's a flying. No, he's not flying, is he? I thought there was. Was he flying at one point? Oh, no, I know who I'm thinking of. Sorry. I'm thinking of the other guy who starts near Batonia. He used to start near Batonia. I think he has the damage aura. I think he might be a bit too powerful. Could be a bit like Taurox. Oh, Marga, yeah. Does he fly? I swear there was like a character who could fly at one point. Like a beastman with wings. Like a beastman with wings. Is that Marga? Am I just gone crazy? It might have been. Oh, it might have been a modded beastman. Might have been a modded beastman for one with wings, actually. If it's not Marga. He casts Flock of Doom, that's close. Yeah. I won't be doing it next week because I've already got my schedule. I mean, we could do. Do you want to read more of a Maelstrom book? Because I've had people telling me that, you know, it's a bit late to be reading for Maelstrom now. Everyone's already read it who cared. I've not read it and I don't have the time to read it off stream. So I thought it would be fun to read it together. Because we can finish reading that together. Or I guess we could like start something. I was thinking like go to Halo 4. Because it's been a while. And you know I really need to finish that game. Or get to it. We did Halo Wars, but we didn't do Halo 4. I think that's everything. You still need to watch Forward Until Dawn, yeah. I don't think I can watch that on the channel when I looked it up. Without like getting copyright striked. Okay, I'm going to just get myself a drink. If you want to see the schedule. Where is it? Image 6. Badonk. There we go. Look. Oh, what's that? What's this thing? I don't know what I selected there by accident. What is that thing? Who's that? Who's that? We're painting twice next week. We're building Tau. We got RimWorld. We've got debut of Vtuber. V2 alt outfit, Cupcake and Chibi. What? Must be Briar's just taken off. No, Briar's bald. You can see this character's not bald. And then we'll be reading. Do you want to read the Maelstrom lore or do you want to change that to Halo? I've been told people don't want to see that. New art. Yeah. Oh, but we got a debut. We got a debut coming up. Stay tuned this evening, and because there's gonna be a trailer. There's gonna be a trailer. A teaser. He came home from shopping. Ooh. Good Good for you, Clyde. I hope you got all the stuff you wanted. Oh. Ooh, listen. Cola. Coca-Cola. But yeah, let's go. Let's go. Oh, they've not posted the what's happening next week, have they? No, not yet. Not yet. You can just pre-order books. And you got Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl dice. Ogres, sorry. Let's do more of this. I think I want this colour. Iodine yellow. Right, is this one where it gets loads of pigment stuck in the bottom? It kind of looks like it does, so let's give it a good old strong shake. Yep. There we go. I suspect Forward Until Dawn would cause issues even when I said you should watch it because it would come before Halo 4. I said it should be a Discord stream and oh yeah! We can do that. We can do that. How long is Forward Until Dawn? Like, is it full feature length? I forget. I thought it was like a 15-minute one. Or is it multiple 15-minute parts? I forget. Yeah. Contrast paints are not as bad as other paints, but usually. Some of them, like black, are quite bad though. Or do you know all of this stuff getting caught underneath? There we go. It was like 3 or 4 episodes. Oh. Okay, that could be good then. There you go, yeah, just trying to clean up all the gunk that gets underneath these things. So you can close it properly. So what I want to do now is put this on the arm. We'll have a yellow arm. Yeah. Okay, so next week we'll do for Maelstrom Law. On Thursday maybe I'll do for Discord stream. It was 5 episodes and it was 1.5 hours in total. Okay. Okay, yeah. Maybe we'll do a Discord stream then on like Thursday. So maybe not this coming week. Because I've got a lot to do for the debut. So maybe the week after the debut we can do that. Not looking very Iron Handsy at the moment, is it? Not Iron Handsy. Oh, Iron Hands. No, Imperial Fisty. That's what it's meant to be. Needs more yellow. We can get a brighter yellow out though. Oh, it's Briar! She's raiding! Hello, Briar! Yeah, if I knew you get to play Halo 4, which I feel gets a bad rep this full game. Oh! Hi, Briar! Briar's partner's definitely again, and Briar's UG. We'll wait for the raiders to get here. We'll wait for them to arrive. And we'll see if the command works. Dreamer Raid! Hi, Paladin Stem! Welcome back, TA and everybody else. Oh. Just gotta wait for Briar to appear to see if my command works. Good morrow, Brian! Hello, Elite Trainer! Oh my gosh! You're gonna go to sleep. Oh, good night. Oh, very good. It worked. It worked. The shout out command automatically worked. Yeah, I managed to figure it out in the end. I'd been using the wrong command. But welcome in, Raiders. I'm Cupcake Conjuring name and profession. It's nice to see you, Elite. Oh, big love hearts to you. It didn't grab Briar though. It did grab Briar. If we click here, is that Briar's channel? Yeah, it's Briar's channel. Nice. Yeah, that one doesn't work. The shout out, the reason the shout out command grabs like the manual one, grabs Briar's little cupcake is because Stream Avatars has it set up that if you do the shout out command SO, that's also a command in Stream Avatars. Oh gosh. So if that is just like coincidence. Oh. We're currently painting a Black Templar with an Imperial Fist, quite literally. Getting notifications. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Look at that arm. Yeah, we need to go more yellow. We can go more yellow. Let's get a yellow paint then. A yellow contrast. Like none you've ever seen before. Oh, so I hope you've had a good stream. Hi, Mississippi Gonzo. I hope you've had a good stream, Briar and Briar's chat. Remember to take care of yourselves and stuff. Well, let's go with Iron Jaws yellow. That looks like it'll be a good yellow for Imperial Fists, rather than Bad Moon yellow. So how bad is this for, like... Looks like it's got a lot of paint down there. It does, so let's go. You're rich! You're rich! Gamble it all! Do the slots command! No, don't do that. Don't do that. You might lose all of your little sprinkles. No, dodge! 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 Ow! That was a stake. Gold puncher. Yeah! How's this? Yeah, still a lot of pigment stuck at the bottom. Raya taught me gambling is a key to life. No, don't yeet at me. Ah, that's an angel. Raya threw an angel cupcake at me. How's this going now? Was pretty good. Okay, open this up. Oh gosh, flicking it. It's a nice bright yellow. My glove ended up like almost coming off because of that. There we go. Okay, even this yellow is not enough to... Oh, maybe. Nah, it's not.
I just died. Meme in another Discord. Great new bath bomb. It's just a grenade. Dropped it with pin pulled. Laid it. I mean, not wrong.
What? No! You just died memming another Discord. That's not... And I don't really like bath bombs, but that's not how bath bombs work. Spreading misinformation right there. Very sheeny, shiny. Okay, got some Avalanche Sunshot here. Lot 100. Why can't I spend my sprinkles like a deadbeat father? You can, you're just not winning anything from it. Wait, is it slots or slots for commanders? Why is the... that's congealed in that corner there. Way too much paint on my brush, that's not good. Not fun. Hey, that's mean. Bombarding me like that. To be fair, they just got a triple only and it didn't give them anything. They should have at least taken only a 50 hit. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Raya, Baldness, Devil. 50. There you go. There's the sprinkles you were meant to have that you didn't get given. Yeah, sometimes it fails to give you sprinkles on the slots. And because I'm not always paying attention to exactly everything that happens, it's not always obvious to me when it, you know, it doesn't pay out properly. The slot's broken again, you'd think the house. Look, look, look.
The slots be broken again. You'd think the house would keep the machines in tip-top condition, but they can't get the staff or the funds.
Look, look. One, we subcontract to an outside company for that. And two, it doesn't really affect us too much if you're not getting your winnings. As long as you're still spending your sprinkles, that's all that matters to us.
Keep gambling like Hakari, and when you hit the jackpot you feel the energy.
No! Not how it works. Oh yeah, I went way too thick with the paint there. I didn't mean to, I just went a bit crazy. Why doesn't the paint want to stick here? I should probably just leave it. Doesn't want to stick now, try again later. Just got back and chat's just gambling. It's too. No, I'm not worm! Just become flump worm for tastiest of tweets. No! I'll never be a worm. I'm more of a snake, to be honest. Ow, so mean. Why are you bombarding me, Cupcakes? But I don't have a neck frill thing that a cobra does. Or is that just a king cobra? Yeah, painting yellow sucks. I think I'll just go with iron jaws after this. Getting yellow where I don't want it. Need a hood with cupcake eyes? Maybe. Maybe.
Aggressively whispers turtle noises.
I think that's the noises too. Pokemon taught me that's the noises that animals make. It's just what they're called. Just like that's looking okay. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that for now. Went a bit overboard with the yellow there. Should have gone with thinner layers. I'll get the thinner brush out now. Go with some Administratum Grey on this thing. Then Wraithbone will be good. That's kind of looking Imperial Fisty. It's very... I don't mind the roughness of the colour, I guess. I don't know how I'm going to do the wear on it, though. Like, what would be a good colour to represent wear on a yellow? I could go for, like, a darker yellow. Be like the marshmallow version of Arbok. Keep the mage hat. And have the cupcake with the spinning eyes as the hood. I could be work, I guess. That's Muffin for cupcake with the hypno eyes. Muffin also has an Inquisitor version. And a non-spinning eye version. A pause of consideration. Yeah, I mean, it could be pretty cool. It'll be work though. I don't like working, I'm lazy. Yeah, keep tuned this evening. If you've not watched my video on the channel yet, don't forget I have uploaded a video on the channel if you want to see it. If you do, don't forget to like it. Just like this, just like you should like this stream. Oh my goodness. It's like I've heard good things happen to people who like this stream. Like really good things. Like if you're painting a model, it will suddenly just paint itself. Warning. This may not actually happen. And if it does, it likely had nothing to do with liking this stream. Yeah, like and subscribe. I've heard the like button. I heard the like button said it hates Graphis Marines. So you should teach it a lesson. Punch it. Punch it. And it said that everyone who is not a Marine sucks. Oh. Every faction that's not a Marine faction sucks. That's what the like button said. So you should go and teach that button a lesson. Go and give it a 1-2 combo. Urgh. White scar paint next. Ooh. Yeah. What do you think would be a good shade? Maybe I could do orange to like at the edges. Nah, with something that's like less pigmented. Beige. I should look at how the games. I'll look at their website to see how they do wear and tear on yellow armor. They should have a couple of Imperial Fist models there. Oh, and Lysander. And the upgrade sprue. No, he wasn't an Imperial Fist. No. What he did is he served at the Eye of Terror as a Black Templar and fought alongside the Imperial Fists at the Eye of Terror. That's what he did. And to honor the Imperial Fist brethren that, you know, died at the Eye of Terror and alongside him, he now wears an Imperial Fist symbol to show, you know, both of his veterancy at that place, but also to, like, as I said, honor those who died and those he served alongside. Not just those who died, but like those who served alongside and survived. So he wears the Imperial Fist symbol on one shoulder and he paints the arm the same colours as the fists. It's just to like add some like extra character and depth to just random models. Also because I got through Combat Patrol and I was like, what am I going to use Imperial Fist symbols for? And then I had a good idea. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Because the Black Templars in general are relatively free with what you want to wear and stuff. Like most of them will probably just have like a Crusade heraldry patch. Or like the Eye of Terror cruise campaign. But my Templar are different. They honor their battle brothers. I'll probably might do a similar thing, like if I get any other, like if I buy the Death Watch kit, I might like use the shoulder pads for other Sons of Dawn. If there's any other Sons of Dawn shoulder pads in there. I don't think they'll do the same for, you know, like an Ultramarine or something. They'd only do it with another chapter that comes from the same gene seed and lineage. Oh gosh, that is so unneat, that yellow, that white, sorry. It's fine, it's fine. Yeah, this guy was always a Templar. It's not something Templars generally do, but it's what my crusade does, what my chapter of does. Yeah. Did that Black Templar nab for Power Fist? No! Hi, even IT. What power armor it wearing? Just the normal Mark 10 armor. The Indomitus Primaris armor. Oh, damn, I forgot to do his blooming knee pad. He didn't nab an Imperial Fist Power Fist. We're just saying he served in the Eye of Terror campaign alongside Imperial Fists. He's a Templar that served alongside Imperial Fists, and like other Templar that served there, that are within this crusade, they honour their fallen Imperial Fist brethren and those they fought alongside by painting one of their arms in the Imperial Fist colour and wearing a shoulder pad. Tacitus. Yeah, Tacitus armor. But yeah. He's otherwise just nice laugh of him, yeah. It's mostly just because I had the upgrades through, you know, in the Imperial Fist Combat Patrol. I was like, you know what, I can make use of that. There we go. Let's get the white paint. Very hard to do a very smooth white. This white score is definitely better than the other white paints I've been using that dry a lot chalkier than this does. But it's very hard to have a nice... It doesn't have to be too nice, to be honest. Oh, it's 6. That means the... You know what that means? It's the time of it doing for what's coming next week. What's coming next week? Oh, it's coming. Legio Custodes. That's like over 1,000 points of models right there. Oh, these guys. Oh, I like the little shield it can have. Oh. You paint another... Hi, Night Parade! If you paint another limb pink, another blue, and the torso red, you get a Power Rangers Megazord. No! Okay, that sounds pretty cool, but that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. Oh, look at those little things. Do you think they're transfers? Or do you think that was painted on? Ooh. Oh, they're releasing a version. I never knew they were releasing a version with a full kite mega cannon. Oh, now I need to get that as well. Oh, made to order orcs and goblins. Classic orcs and goblins. Oh, these are orc boy big ones, I think. Like proper ones. Oh, these are odd boys, sorry. They might be odd boys, actually. Yeah, Black Orc Big Boss. Yeah, these are the original Black Orcs. They look like more like big ones to me. You also get a pack of 5 Black Orcs. A 3 model Orc Boys. Oh, this is just generic Orc Boys. A squad of 10 Orc Boys. And then, oh, the original Rock Lobber. Oh, these look terrible. I do kind of like this one and these guys. My eyes. I'm sorry. That one looks so comical. So bad it looks good. It does. Ooh, Warhammer colour set. So releasing these. So re-releasing the starter stuff. Have they made that longer for little clippers? Starter clippers, mold line scraper. Ooh, Warhammer dice. Bone coloured dice. Warhammer branded. So basically we're just releasing all the old Citadel stuff, but now for Warhammer brand on it. Bit by bit. Okay. Now I want to check something. Where's the Imperial Fists? Not armies of Imperium, Space Marines. Imperial Fists. Let's look at how they do for wear and tear on the armor. Looks like... Oh, I don't know. Very hard to tell. I don't know if they've done it. Do any wear and tear on him. I mean, for where they do, it's just like little bits of brown on it. Which we could work with. But I like the idea rather than it being like dirty or whatever, it's having like gouges taken out of the paint. Huh. Where's Tor? Tor Garden, I think it's called. Here he is. He might have some wear on him. Okay, it looks like they go based on this. With a very, yeah, with a just off white sort of yellow on the edges, it looks like. Yeah. Okay, we can go with that. We can work with that. I can look for an off-white yellow. How agile are Custodian Dreadnoughts? They look like they've still got cartwheels. So Contemptor Dreadnoughts were a lot more agile. Then I think actually Contemptors are still the most agile version of a Dreadnought that they ever made. A lot more agile than the Leviathan, which itself was I think a little less agile than the Boxnaut. Redemptors are more agile than that, but not as agile as the Contemptor. And the Custodians are using a special version of a Contemptor that's even more agile. And the Telemon, I believe, is also similar to that. I don't know if that's a Telemon. I think that might be the Telemon. But yeah, so very, very agile. Basically, it's got the full freedom of movement that you'd expect a normal Custodian to have. And the same ridiculous burst of speed. In fact, I think they're even faster and potentially more agile than a Custodian, which is absolutely insane. But you know, custodians. They are kind of just insane. That's kind of what they do. Really, I should have gone for a very light pink or something underneath this. Or brown. Or just white. Got the yellow coat for contrast yellows could work better. That is fine. Okay, let me look at the different yellows I might have to work with this. Oh, dawn yellow might be good actually. Just along the edges of the armor. Wait for that to dry first. Well, while we're doing that, we can get this. Yeah. Custody dreadnoughts are not something you ever want to have to fight. In fact, we're probably... Canonically, Custody dreadnoughts are probably one of the most dangerous things in the entire Imperium and most difficult to deal with. Because they are much better armoured than your average dreadnought. They have much better shields than your average dreadnought. Actually, most dreadnoughts don't have force fields. Custody dreadnoughts do, at least canonically. Actually, I think they even do in the game as well. I think they've all got 4+ invulnerables. But they're like blitzingly fast, like incredibly fast. They are dangerous like nobody's business. They're incredibly strong. Like, in theory, a Custody Dreadnought could just, like, rip through things like Carnifexes, Hive Tyrants, and stuff like that as easily as, like, a normal Custodian would rip through, Warriors. They can easily go toe-to-toe with most Greater Demons. Not all Greater Demons, because not all Greater Demons are built the same. At least this is as far as I'm aware when it comes to the Custody stuff. I could very well be wrong. But... pretty sure I have seen a short extract about a Dreadnought. I think I was a Telemon Dreadnought. I should have probably done for blue first. I definitely need to work more on this yellow. The rest of the yellow is going to be gold, other than on the arm. So the Custodians are coming next week, that's cool. Gonna have to try getting my hands on them. Hope it's not a made to order thing. Not a made to order. Hope it's not a limited edition thing. Gonna have to check that. I really love the new Custody models. The Dreadnought, the Vehicle, the other things. Like, I was not a big fan of the normal Custody models. The ones that they currently have, I think they kind of look meh and a bit silly. There we go. Are there anything non-demon that is close to Custody? Only ones I know are Harlequins. Harlequins are a bit of an odd one. I mean, it depends what he classes as demon. I mean, Catans and Avatar of K and stuff like that definitely are. Aspect Warriors, like the Phoenix Lords and stuff, and do you know Artarchs? So basically these like super elite Aspect Warriors of the Eldar are capable of going toe-to-toe with Custodies. Super elite Incubi and stuff are capable of going toe-to-toe with Custodies. Things like Chapter Masters, Captains, Primaris, well not just Primaris, but Company Champions, Emperor's Champions. Basically any sort of thing where it's like the elite of the elite. Harlequins are kind of the elite of the elite. Similarly, the best witches of the Dark Eldar that you'll find will be able to go toe-to-toe with them. Let's think. Some tech priests can probably go toe-to-toe for Custody, like Carl probably can easily. And you probably got similar tech priests that are massively built up that could do so. Things like Imperial Knights and Titans, obviously. Psychus, certain Psychus could probably do so. Oh, things like the Assassins, things like Eversaw Assassins and stuff like that could probably go toe-to-toe with them. They're probably not going to be going toe-to-toe with like the top Custodians, and similarly Phoenix Lords could probably go toe-to-toe with the top Custodians. Top Harlequins as well, like the I don't know. I can't remember. Do you know, basically Harlequin characters could probably do so. Certain named characters like Prince Yorio probably can, and oh, what's his name? The Psycho dude. Isn't Solitaires for our Harlequin elite? Yeah, the Solitaires probably can. Their souls are condemned though. So they pay a lot for that power. What else is there? I don't think Imperial Knights or Titans are a fair fight to dude versus a tall 10-story tall big robe. No, Custodians in law, probably it is a fair fight. Like, the Custodian is in a position where he could probably take out a knight by himself. It wouldn't be an easy for him to do so, but he could probably do it, or she could. A Custodian could either cripple or kill a knight pilot. Either cripple a knight or like kill the pilot. It's not exactly a fair fight, but certain like chapter masters and champions could go toe-to-toe with like the top Custodians. But that's like only very special ones. Like the most elite of the elite. Your standard ones would be lucky to win a fight against a normal Custodian, like your standard chapter captain or champion. He's not saying that they couldn't, it's just will be lucky. The other thing is that it depends on like how well equipped they are. Like your standard Primaris company champion probably couldn't beat a Custodian normally. But that's simply because your standard company champion is just not going to be well equipped enough to go toe-to-toe with a custodian. Where power sword will struggle to get through their armor and past the shields. There's just not enough going in favor for them. Your ones where like your Sicarius, is it called Sicarius, could potentially do so. Just based on equipment, like the Minotaur's chapter has a ridiculous amount of relic equipment. A company champion from the Salamanders might be able to, because again, they have lots of relic equipment. Basically, any sort of chapter where they have like relic armor, relic weapons, stuff like that, like really, really good ones that are on the same level as a custody. They're the only ones that could really go toe-to-toe with them on. That's not saying that they could go toe-to-toe with the elite custodian, just your bog standard lowest level custodian they could probably go toe-to-toe with. And that's a mixture of, they are just simply skilled enough to be, like, they're probably more skilled than your bog standard custodian. And that makes up for their lack of reflexes and strength. And the fact that they're both equipped really well is the other thing that will even the playing field. In fact, some are probably equipped better. I think there's a bit in lore where Custodian actually kicks a tank over. Yeah. Although, what's it called? Space Marines can also just, like, knock over things like Chimeras. Chimeras are absolutely massive on the tabletop. In the lore, though, the Chimeras are not that massive. And Space Marines are kind of bigger in comparison to them. Like, in Space Marine 2, you go walk past Chimeras and stuff, and you could probably see why a Space Marine could probably knock a Chimera over. Or tear through it. Necron Leech Guards, don't they, like, elite guards? I don't think the Leech Guards could. Necron Overlords definitely could. Not every Overlord. Similarly, like, not every Captain or Champion could go toe-to-toe with a Custody. But there's probably plenty of them that are relatively unnamed and unknown that could probably go toe-to-toe with them. Similarly, there's actually some Cryptex that could. Like, just simply because they have the technological advantage. Like, somebody being able to stop time and just tear them apart, or just press a button and, you know, you die. Oh my gosh! Hello, Ghost!
Cupcake! Yay!
Hey people, what is up?
Cupcake.
Thanks for being a member for a month. Yeah! I hope you've been using your cupcake magic responsibly. But yeah, so there's quite a lot that could go toe-to-toe with your bog standard bottom of the line custodian. And maybe some Leech Guards probably could. I mean, things like the Swarm Lord definitely can. Stuff like your Assimilators, Non-Assimilator and Emissary probably could. And your other non, and not nons, like Hive Tyrants probably can. Again, these aren't saying that, you know, they have the advantage, they could easily beat them. It's just saying that they have a chance. They actually can put up a good fight, and there's a chance.
None of the cupcake wizards use their magic responsibly. We terrorize the bakery next door since they only make bread.
No, you have to. If they just want to make bread, that's fine. You allow them to make bread. As long as they're not selling cupcakes to people, because, you know, cupcakes aren't for sale. They're friends. They're friends are our cupcakes. BRB. Oh, but yeah, what else is there? I don't think things like Leech Guard are, because Leech Guard are relatively elite guards, but honestly, when it comes to, like, fighting, nothing of the Necrons is like good. Ooh, Destroyers! Things like the Locust Destroyer and the Destroyer Lords, the Scott Brigade Destroyers. Well, I don't think they're capable of going toe-to-toe like one of them. Well, I mean, the Destroyer Lords definitely can. like your Scotbreaker or I can't remember how you meant to pronounce them, or your Ophridian destroyers. All of them can kill a custodian. Their weapons are more powerful enough to do so, and they definitely have the reflexes, speed, and strength to be able to take down a custodian. The issue, though, is if it's like a one-on-one fight, they're probably not going to win. But if they can get a custodian by surprise, they can. And you might think, well, that's not really a fair fight, is it, by surprise? In law, a bunch of hotshot lasguns taking custodians by surprise and plasma guns and melter guns do absolutely nothing to the custodians. Plasma guns and melter guns have a chance of doing something, but like most of your weapons, like really, really good elite weapons shooting at custodians are just bouncing off them. Not even bouncing off them, it's just doing absolutely nothing to them. Like, they are just built that different from your average person, from like Space Marines and stuff. The armor's just that good. But yeah, a squad of them could probably be a threat to a custodian. A basic squad of warriors with bone swords could potentially take one out by surprise. And something like a lictor probably could as well, but it's very unlikely. Very unlikely. Going by like what could actually kill a custodian, there's quite a lot. Things like anything that's basically got a weapon that could tear apart a tank or like a dreadnought or something could potentially take out a custodian. There's a good chance that their armor and their shielding will hold up to it, the attack. And even if it doesn't, there's a good chance it will hold up at least well enough to save the custodian's life. But so like things like hitting them with a las cannon are really, really powerful sniper, like a Lasfusil. There's a bit in one of the novels where a custodian meets a Minotaur's chapter master and said he was the first opponent he wasn't 100% sure he could beat. Yeah. I think that when it comes to things like that, you have to take into account, like, let's think about who's killed custodians before. Space Marines have. The Black Templar have killed custodians before, or at least one of them. And as much as that custodian ripped apart for like a bunch of Black Templar to do so, you have to realise a significant portion of Black Templar was still alive, and they fought the Civil War where almost half of them were fighting against the other half, and the custodian was on the side of one of them. And the custodian still died and lost the fight. So Space Marines have managed to beat custodians of the past. We've also seen people like Abaddon be able to put up a decent fight against them, like even before we got swirled with chaos power. And we also have to remember that custodians are arrogant as heck. It's like, yeah, they have every right to be arrogant. Like, they definitely are dangerous. But it's like a Space Marine. You can't really trust what a character says. You can't trust that a custodian saying he can't beat someone, or he's not 100% sure he can beat them. One, you can't trust that his assessment is correct. He probably is, but you can't trust it 100%. And the second thing is, you can't trust that he's probably seen people that could probably trounce him, and he's looked at them and thought he could probably beat them still. It depends. Like, if it's a named character, like Valerius, whatever his name is, then yeah, probably there's no one that can beat him. Or there's like a very good chance very few in the galaxy could probably beat him. It depends how high up, how ranked that custodian is. I have heard that extract, but I can't remember who actually said it. But again, even then, it's like people like Marnius Kelgar, who do you know are very often right about everything that they do. Has more than once we've had his POV only to be completely contradicted by somebody else's POV. Like, he thought he had an assessment in his mind, and it's like his assessment was actually wrong. Like, especially when it came to Gulliman and stuff. But that's actually completely the opposite way. He thinks less of himself than he should do. But yeah. I think in law, custodians have died of a variety of things. So they can definitely die. And there's definitely been times that they've been challenged before, or, been surprised by the ferocity of an opponent, or, skill of an opponent. And the same goes for, like, Space Marines and stuff. I don't think we can trust them. Even what's his name, though? Hasn't he been surprised, like, for the custodian main character dude? I'm pretty sure Phoenix Lords are psychics too. All Eldar are psychic to some extent. I'm not sure if they are psychic. Yeah. Also, for law and custodians does change. Like, I think the custodians have been made a little bit weaker in more recent law than they used to be. But I think that's in part just so you can actually use the characters. It's not... Custodians become an issue where if you have them be as powerful as, they're meant to be, you can't really write around them very well because they can just take stuff out. Which is why they often take up an antagonistic role in, like, stories, like in Tithes and stuff, where the characters that you actually want to support, the custodians are wanting them to do something different, or, like, threatening them. Because that way it's more, you can write something more interesting of it, but you can also mean that the custodian, write the custodian to a position where they can't just fix any situation because the custodian's kind of a bad person. Or kind of has their own agenda that's separate from your main story agenda. How fast can custodians clean a hive city? It's in their name. No, it's custodian, as in they care for the throne. You have to ask how quickly can they clean a throne room. And pretty quickly, I might add. Yeah, they do. Custodians don't really have trouble with psychers as much as they don't really have a lot of protections against psychers, as far as I'm aware. Like, we know Space Marines can train their mind to withstand psychic attack. Black Templars do that. We know Titus has done that. And they can resist really powerful psychers. I imagine a custodian can probably still do that, but, they still need to be able to deal with extremely powerful psychers. But they won't be able to resist. Yeah, I think when it comes down to custodians, though, yeah, as far as I'm aware, it has to basically be who can put up a fight against them and who can kill them. Not necessarily who's going to win a fair fight. Because there's not much outside of named characters that could probably win a fight even against your basic custodian. I think we probably know that, like, top Harlequins can and for Phoenix Lords. But you also have to remember, in lore, an Eldar is faster than... Your basic Eldar Guardian is faster than a Space Marine, almost as strong as one, and almost as tough as a Space Marine. And their armor is about as good as... It's really, really good. It's not as good as power armor, but it's really, really good. And that's just a basic Eldar Guardian. Aspect Warriors are easily, like, on the same level as Space Marines. Many of them are well above your average Space Marine. And when you get to the Phoenix Lords, Autarchs and stuff like that, they can carve through Space Marines as if they're nothing. I refuse a fair fight by shooting rail cannons. If it can get lucky shots on from, yeah. But again, it's the entire thing about basically successfully taking them by surprise. Custodians can run very, very far, very, very quickly, and they can dodge very, very easily. And they also have some of the best armor in the galaxy, and some of the best personal shields. Your rail cannon from 10 miles away might get 2 shots into them. You might get like 3 shots off before he closes the distance. One of them hits and it does absolutely nothing. There's a good chance that you might still be able to kill it with a shot, but there's a good chance that it might just close the distance and start carving you to pieces. After Gulliman got back, he actually sent the custodians out into hive cities of terror to clear out all the gene stealers and chaos cults. Apparently it didn't take long. See, custodians are great at it. Yeah. In law, custodians have died to a variety of threats, so we have to assume that they are kind of fragile. I say fragile, they are vulnerable to being killed. And overwhelmed. And tricked. It's just not something that's easy to do. Okay, I think if this yellow's not actually too bad now. It's not the best, but it's not too bad. What I think I want to do... Yeah, it's very difficult. I don't know a hell of a lot about custodians. I did research about, like, how good are the custodians in law. And it's the same with Space Marines. For law, is very inconsistent. But it's the same with, like, Eldar armor. I've read...
Isn't anything alive vulnerable to being killed?
The Swarm Lord isn't. You kill the Swarm Lord, it just comes back the next day. Demons, you kill them, they don't actually die. What else doesn't really die when you kill it? Ooh, Perpetuals, they don't die. Yeah, there's actually quite a few things that aren't that vulnerable to being killed, you know? It's like you can kill a demon, but it's just got to come back again. Oh, Eldar! You can kill an Eldar. He's just got to come back in a great big suit. Space Marines, kill for Space Marine. It just comes back as a Dreadnought. All you do is just make them stronger. You know, being vulnerable to being killed is quite a rarity in the 40k universe. And you can't even say, well, they're not actually being killed, are they? It's like, yeah, they are being killed. It's just they're coming back afterwards. And it is a kind of vulnerability of sorts. So, yeah, the law is very inconsistent. It's like the Eldar armor. I've seen like I read 3 different things about it. One of it said the Eldar armor's good, but it's thin. So it's very good. It's very strong. It can easily withstand things like a last gun, but will struggle with things like a bolt gun or like power weapons. Something where it's like as thin as the Eldar armor is, it's like as good as power armor. Still, despite how thin it is. And then something where the Eldar armor is weak and pathetic and easily destroyed. All 3 of them I've read in like actual recent-ish lore. And that's all just about Guardian armor. Not Aspect Warrior armor, just Guardians. Space Marines, obviously, I mean, you can even read something by the exact same author in the same book, and they might have like two very different accounts of how a Space Marine behaves. And like how powerful they are. So yeah, in theory, say in theory, but the law on the custodians and how powerful they are is inconsistent. And like how easy it is to take one down. The only consistency is that there have been custodians have been defeated in a fight by non-custodians and they have been killed. Even people who aren't vulnerable to get killed anyway, like the Fulvan. Like Vulcan for Perpetual. He's got to come back, don't worry about it. Things like that could be explained by craft worlds having different quality of armor. That's true. And the same goes with like power armor, where you can see like different power armor just like from in different places. Because the Imperium isn't exactly, you know, very good with the consistency of the quality of its equipment. And he could say that like two different custodians aren't necessarily going to have the same level of armor as one another. Because, you know, as they get older, more experienced and higher rank, they're going to potentially get like better equipment. And it's possible a custodian isn't actually very good at taking care of their equipment. Or the guy who's meant to take care of it really hates a custodian that, you know, is in his charge. And as a result, he kind of sabotages the armor a little bit. And you can even make the same argument with like imperfections in Gene Seed. Like how come in certain books you can see like Chaos Space Marines getting killed by guardsmen relatively easily. And then, you know, a normal Space Marine comes along and suddenly he's like completely impossible to kill. You can say, well, the Imperium have much higher quality armor. Than some Chaos dudes do. And it's much better cared for. And they don't have the same imperfections of the Gene Seed caused by Chaos. And degradation of time. There's definitely a lot of arguments to be made out there. Okay, how is that fist looking now with that stuff on it? Actually, that doesn't look too bad with the wear and tear. I think I might go and try do a bit of shadow with iodine. Also, I believe like Eldar, like the Guardians and stuff, you've got like different crafters and a lot of the Eldar will make their own armor and equipment. So it could not just be like different craft worlds have different stuff, but it could just be like the different craftsmen on that craft world are, you know, have different quality to them. Not everyone It's built the same. I actually think the different craft worlds have avatars that came with different strengths, which could explain why they're sometimes easily defeated and other times quite destructive. Yeah, it could also be like, do you know how angry the avatar of Cain is? Could potentially affect it as well. Like a craft world that's been absolutely destroyed, you can imagine when they awaken the avatar of Cain, it's going to be filled with rage and anger. And that's why most of the time when you see like a craft world on the verge of destruction, the avatar of Cain is like seemingly unstoppable. And then other times when like they wake it just like a bit prematurely than they really needed it, it's then just like an absolute jobber. On the tabletop, avatar of Cains are absolutely devastating. But that's actually one of those inconsistencies where sometimes certain enemies are like better on the tabletop than they are in their own lore. Like at least, you know, the times when you see them in lore. I'd say one of those is Plague Marines. Like as scary as Plague Marines are, every time you see them in the lore, they are absolute jobbers. Like half of the time. Like you see a Plague Marine just getting taken down. Like, a squad of guardsmen takes down, like, 20 Plague Marines or something stupid. It's like, what? This doesn't seem quite accurate, does it? Maybe I'm over-exaggerating there. But they... and when I have read them doing that, they say, oh, it's because of the plague, the armor's weak. But then it's like, but the point is that the armor doesn't matter anymore because, you know, they're so tough from Nurgle's plague. Oh gosh, trying to paint this circle is hell. Oh, I'm never going to complain about the Templar crosses again. I am. Look how messy that line is. The camera's not very good at picking up the black versus white contrast, but... In one comic, Calgar actually defeated an avatar by ripping its head off. As an Ultraman fan, even I find that ridiculous. If that is stupid, Plague Marines are like the hardest to kill. They should be walking and killing for a while with their head removed. Yeah. But often you find that they kind of become jobbers, like, especially if, you know, stories where it's from the perspective of the guardsman. I like to imagine at those points, like, they're not actually aware that the thing they're killing isn't a Plague Marine. It's just like a heavily armoured, you know, a cultist that's heavily swollen and armoured. At the time when, you know, a Plague Marine just absolutely is unstoppable, that's when it's an actual Plague Marine. Like, I think Gaunt's Ghost is pretty bad for, if I remember correctly. I was like one where I read it and they're taking on Plague Marines. I was like, what the heck? I think it was Plague Marines in Gaunt's Ghost. I think it was like first or second book, was it? And then, I can't remember if it's in the same book, but there's a point where like a loyalist marine comes to help them, and I think it's like 3 loyalist marines. And those marines absolutely tank hell. That being said, I feel like Gaunt's Ghost for Love is very inconsistent anyway. Which I don't really blame them. Marnia's Cowgirl is probably one of them I could imagine beating an Avatar of Cain, as silly as it does sound, simply because he's got all this relic equipment and stuff. And he's meant to be one of the top Marines out there. Isn't the time he did that to an Avatar of Cain, though? The Avatar of Cain model was like this big. Because it was a small metal model. And the Avatar of Cain on the battlefield was not that powerful back then. I think it wasn't until it got its resin release that there were like 2 stat profiles of the Avatar of Cain. Then we had the Codex stat profile, and then you had the Forge Road stat profile. Similarly, Greater Demons had the same thing, where you had the old metal models, I think they were, which were kind of small. And then you had the big resin models. And they had 2 completely separate, like, I think the resin ones weren't even just called Greater Demons, I think they're called, like, something else. Well, they might have just been called Greater, I think they're called, like, Giant Greater Demons or something. And they were like Titan killers. I think some of it's also just that since some of this stuff's been written, the law has actually changed. I think he did it in a recent comic. Oh, really? Oh. I remember... I know that was somebody who killed an avatar, like, in one of the older law things, but at that time it wasn't, like, as ridiculously silly. Because Avatar of Cain's just weren't that powerful back then. I don't know if they use an Avatar of Cain if it can come back. I can't remember what the old law for that was. I thought they could come back, but that's also just me back then not really knowing the Eldar law that well, other than just like, those are cool models. Amber Cowgirl is a Cavius Cain at some point, so that must just be Imperial propaganda. Yeah, Cypheus. It could also not be like a full Avatar of Cain. It could have just been a baby Avatar. Oh gosh. But for something being a Primarch level threat, I don't think that's above like an extremely exceptional Marine being able to defeat them though. Like, especially if they've got relic equipment. That is terribly done, that circle. I'm going to try and fix it a little bit. Yeah. Are the comics canon, though? I mean, I know the one about, like, his background, like, when he was a kid is canon. I don't know how canon the other comics are. Because I've not seen that. I mostly heard about, like, the events of the comics. Like, I heard he had defeated a Avatar of Cain. I just thought it was some older lore. Oh. I think Space Marines, as they've been increased in power on the tabletop, have also been reduced in power in the lore. Because it used to be that you had like extraordinary inconsistency between the lore and the tabletop, in which they were basically portrayed in the same way that like custodies are portrayed now in the lore. But then on the tabletop, they were just terrible. They're absolutely nothing. That's a little better. Oh my god, how did they make that look good? Like, do you want to see how they do that circle online? Let's go to the Imperial first. Wrong one. Like, how is it that good? Okay, it's definitely thicker on first. I need to make mine thicker. I'll double check in case I'm missing up two. Maybe he did it twice. I wouldn't be surprised if Kelgars did it twice. Yeah, but I ain't. As I said, you're probably more aware of the law of that than I am. I had heard that happened, but I just always imagined it was older law. I do have a habit of that. When I hear something for the first time, I always imagine it's like already been out for ages. I want to find out it's new. I'm like, what? I'm usually like years behind these things. Oh, actually, I can kind of faintly see the line where the black's meant to go. What the heck? Paint. Yeah, it sounds. Can Kelgar on tabletop beat an Avatar of Cain? Like, I know I can make a captain who can absolutely dunk, well, a marshal who can absolutely dunk on like an Avatar of Cain and stuff. I made the line thicker. Definitely not better. Certainly not better. Oh gosh. I know there's an episode of one of the Warhammer shows where there's an avatar of Cain and some striking scorpions versus some marines. I think a bunch of marines get killed in that, and I think the Eldar eventually win. But not sure if the avatar survives or not. I've not seen the episode, I've only ever seen clips of it. I think it's part of Hammer and Bolter. But yeah, there we go. Eldar are scary. I don't actually know how I feel about the avatar of Cain, you know, being a jobber. It's a bit like the Swarm Lord in that respect. In which, because like the writer in me recognizes like, oh, these characters aren't named characters. They can continuously come back. And there's an infinite number of them. You can have them be scary, you can have them be powerful. But you can't have them being like these unstoppable monsters. Because they're the perfect enemy to have for your named characters. Like your Primarchs, as tough and powerful as they are, they're named characters that you can't just have die, so they need to be super tough, they need to be super powerful. And you can't really let other threats be quite Primarch level. Greater demons fall into a similar category. Where really things like the Swarm Lord, the Avatar of Cain, greater demons, they have to be at a level where they can give a Primarch a 1 for the money, but a Primarch will still beat them like 99% of the time. And as a result, other named characters can kill them. Merlin Kado dropping any lore consistency in the trash. No, Kado is his own scary things. I think that's actually one of the things about Marines though, is that there's a massive level between different Marines. Like, your average Black Templar Marshal could probably cut through like dozens of things like Ultramarines relatively easily, and similarly your what they called your Wolf Lords of the Space Wolves. They're just going to be bigger, stronger, faster, tougher, and just better in like melee in every single respect than 99% of Marines out there. And on the battlefield, on like the games, you can see that. And the same goes for things like Emperor's Champions and, you know, other types of these characters. So not every single Marine is built the same. And I think that's parts of like the Primaris, crossing the Rubicon with the Primaris. It's this entire idea that those Space Marines that are not built like everybody else aren't going to survive the process. Say everyone else, like your named characters. found it. I was getting it slightly mixed up. He defeated the Avatar in single combat by punching its heart out. It was a Lord of Schools that he tore the head off. Oh my gosh, that's insane. That sounds like Imperial propaganda. Do Avatars of Cain even have a heart? But yeah, not... I like the idea that not every single Space Marine is built the same. You are going to get ones that can do these seemingly impossible feats. I mean, it goes... I mean, that is true. Like, you got, what's his name of the Carcharodons? Tiberius, for Red Wake. You got Dante of the Blood Angels. Cypher of the Dark Angels. Halgar of the Ultramarines. Actually, a bunch of Ultramarines. And Kaido. Isn't that also half of a point of what's his face? Titus's story is that he's just built different. Yeah, he can hold the big demon thing without falling to corruption. But that's just because he's built better. Abaddon was also built different. Like he was custodial level, basically, from what I've heard. Back in the Horus Heresy. Custodies can give the Primarchs a run for their money. And then you got certain Marines who can give the Custodies runs for their money. I think the inconsistency in the law is part of the law's consistency. The Avatar of Cain's narrative purpose is to show the next cool character. I can't even imagine the Twin Lands getting a win over. You can imagine, just to advertise their models. Honestly, the Twin Lands should be able to kill them, in theory. Like... one of them is armed with a railgun or something, isn't it? And the other one's armed with a plasma cannon. Effectively. They could probably take out an Avatar of Cain pretty handily. In theory. By the law, power of, you know, railgunners and iron cannons and stuff. They in theory should be able to kill an Avatar. If we remember that Marnius Kelgar is wearing some of the best armor and equipped with the best power fists in the entire galaxy, he probably can actually take on an Avatar of Cain. Titus shouldn't be able to in theory, but that being said, he's taken on Greater Demons. If he can take on a Greater Demon, he can take on an Avatar of Cain. For very similar levels. So it's... because I don't think Avatar of Cain's are necessarily Primarch level here. Twin Lands killing an Avatar by hitting it with a gun barrel. Okay, now that would be stupid. Maybe finishing it off. I could see that. Like, they seriously damage it. It's like, got his limbs blasted off. And it's just like on the floor trying to bite at them and they just whack it. Well, there's just so many stupid... like, Avatar of Cain's have defeated Greater Demons in the past, but I'm pretty sure Greater Demons have killed Avatar of Cain's in the past. And I think both of them have done that, like, with relatively ease against one another. But again, not every Greater Demon is built the same. Like, there's definitely Greater Demons that are much, much scarier, like Bloodthirsters, than other Bloodthirsters. And when if they get brought into reality, if you fight one Bloodthirster and then fight them again later, you can't guarantee that they're going to be the exact same strength when they come back. They could be weaker, they could be stronger. The connection in for real and reality might be weaker. So I imagine avatars of Cain might be the same. You can also argue that Swarm Lords are similar, in which not every Swarm Lord's going to be built the same. One, later ones should in theory be stronger, but not every High Fleet is capable of building to the same level as other High Fleets are. Like some High Fleets have just ridiculously strong gaunts compared to others. Some of that, not every High Fleet has the entire knowledge of a hive mind at their disposal. In fact, some of them are kind of flying a bit blind in that regard. While others are going to have a lot more knowledge. Some of them are going to be relatively resource starved. And like, not just High Fleets, but you know, tendrils. Like some tendrils of Leviathan are going to be resource starved. So you can imagine if it summons a Swarm Lord, it might not be as strong as one that's by a much more healthier, stronger tendril. So I think with all of these, you could argue that the Avatar of Cain or whatever somebody thought was just a weaker one. What happened to an Avatar of Cain? No, we're talking about like the one that got killed by Marnius Kelgar and just in general from being absolute jobbers. Avatar of Cain is just something that Eldar summon every now and then. Yeah. Now, sometimes we see the Avatar of Cain just be absolutely crazy, like the one that defended itself from a Tyranid High Fleet and basically destroyed the entire High Fleet alone. I imagine the Avatar of Cain in those respects, like the ones that get summoned. Actually, it should be, because isn't the Avatar of Cain similar to the Catan, in which the Avatar of Cain, Cain itself is a dead god, and all you've got is tiny splinters of them. And it's those avatars like that are basically just tiny splinters of a Cain's soul. And similarly, you got the Catan. I know that in the old lore, the Catan, not every Catan shard was the same. Like, some of them were quite weak or, you know, quite small, while others were massive and, like, full of power. I think that's what the lore said. I don't know if that was... But, as you said, it's quite possible that the Avatar of Cain's aren't all just built the same. I think that's the only Avatar of Cain to win in recent history. That's not recent history. That's quite old history, I believe. Like, I think that was history back... That was relatively old history when I was still playing the game. I say relatively old. No, Cain never died. He was the only elder god, aside from the three that survived. He was shattered. Yeah, so they got... Avatar of Cain wins pretty good in that one Cain book. Yeah. Hypheus Cain. Maybe that's just because he got Cain's plot armor for having a similar sounding name. But yeah, it would be fun if it's... I don't know if it's mentioned in the lore, because it would be fun if it is mentioned in the lore, if that's the case. I know the Swarm Lord, it doesn't have that mentioned in the lore, but that's just how I imagine, you know, why the Swarm Lord's weak. And, like, you know, other characters and stuff of the Tyranids, I always just imagine that each one builds them slightly differently to the others. Avatar of Cain in that book, the way it wins. I feel like the power level in 40k is determined by how angry you get, which would explain why Ultramarines and Black Templars are so powerful when you consider how angry their dads can get. I mean, kind of is. You have to remember as well, you got psychic stuff going on as well. You got the warp energies. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in 40k. One of the things I've been watching recently is Andor. And one of the cool things I like about Andor is how you can see the will of the Force. And you can see that as like, oh, it's plot armor. But they actively write into the idea that this kind of this will of the Force, making sure, you know, Andor gets where he needs to get. And it's like every single thing that happens within the show, you realize that, like, if it didn't happen that exact way, he would never end up where he needed to end up. And if he didn't end up there, the entire rebellion's never going to happen. And it's basic, and you see in Rogue One where they lampshade the will of the Force a lot more, but taking that lampshade and then shining it onto Andor, you can see that. But that's kind of what you get with the warp and just all the mystery in Warhammer. Templars, I've said it quite a few times before, but they are all psychic. I guess you don't get Templar librarians, but the Templars themselves are basically just like the orcs off. They believe in things hard enough that it actually warps reality around themselves. Yes, you can hit that Templar with a plasma cannon. But that plasma cannon might have a very hard time killing that Templar because he doesn't believe your plasma cannon can hurt him. And it works. Or he believes a God Emperor's protecting him, and it works. Like, there used to be a point where you could give every single Black Templar Feel No Pain 6+, and I think it could be up to a 5+. And that was basically just representing mini miracles happening constantly around them. Right now, if you go by tabletop as well with the Black Templars are absolutely insane. Every one of them gets either sustained or lethal hits in melee pretty much. You've got the Marshal who can get like a dozen attacks if you really want him to get a dozen attacks. And could just tear through things. So yeah, I do think your anger, your ability... Also, don't forget about Gulliman being that angry in space. Like, he was so angry, he just, like, survived being flung into space and tore things to pieces. Eldars go to the local mall for Builder Cane. Yuck! I think it feels like the Avatar of Cain is like the world of 40k, where it's established as strong and has a lot of good feats and strength, but he's used to show how strong another character is. I just think that with how frequently they do this, it lessens the weight of other factions. That is true. I think, though, I'm not really upset about them using the Avatar of Cain like that. I just think if they're going to do that, the Avatar of Cain needs to, you know, be historically weaker. Like, yes, make it extremely dangerous. But I think things where you can do that to show the strength of the character is, one, Marines themselves actually do that, especially Chaos Marines, where they just show how good somebody else is by being like this ridiculous target for that character. Like, a normal human shouldn't ever be able to beat a Space Marine, but this named character can beat Space Marines. So that's just like... And I think that's the exact same thing with other things. So you're great to demons. What else is there? You got your avatars, you got your swarm lords, you got your carnifexes, you got your Catans. They're equally something you can do that to. Necron lords, you can do that to. Orc war bosses. Orc war bosses aren't quite as good because they're just not Primarch level. Orc war bosses are just more top quality Marine level. Orc war bosses can be that level though. So it's like every single character is capable of taking something up that's the tier above them, potentially. Custodians you can do that with. I don't think they've really done that much. It's mostly just like backstory of this thing happened, Custodian died, rather than we actually see the Custodians dying to them. That's very rare to see. But yeah, I think when it comes to stuff like that, though, yeah, you're going to have to let like those other factions have their wins, but in other ways, like with their named characters. Like the the Necrons get it, because we've seen the Necron lords, like the various named characters, do some absolutely ridiculous things, like Trizan, the king, whatever his name is. We've seen some of these guys be absolutely insane, and that's fun. We've not actually seen much from the Eldar. Like, we've seen every so often an Eldar character get something cool, but we very rarely ever see, like, you know, these cool named Eldar characters like the Phoenix Lords, Eldrad, Ulfran. We've seen him do 1 or 2 cool things, Eldrad. Like, I think he's... was he the one that dueled Fulgrim? And he also, like, paused time at one point on, like, Ultramar or something. No, Macragge. Yeah, he paused time on Macragge, I think. So I've seen him do a couple of cool things. Uriel, we've seen do a couple of cool things, but I think the Eldar, they just need their named characters to do more crazy stuff. The Avatar is like the last gun. He can defeat 99% of everything that has ever existed. It's just the 1% remains that he has trouble with. I do there's a lot of recruit in comparison to Space Marines and Guard. They've mess up Guard, but always one Space Marine is Rambo, which is fair. It's just annoying. Yeah. You also see the Guardsmen do this themselves, though. Like you've literally got Marbo, Sly Marbo, doing absolutely crazy stuff. Eldar being shafted by... I think it's partly because Eldar just aren't selling... Like, Necron books sell really well, and the Necron models sell really well, so they get some really cool stuff. Photan is one of the top sellers at the moment, so you're probably going to see them get more really, really cool, like, books and stuff. I don't know if the books have been selling well, because it's a big thing of sometimes the models sell well, but the people who buy for models aren't necessarily buying for books. I know the Necron books sell relatively well. That's why they keep reprinting them. But I think they kind of sell better, like, relative to their models. Chaos Space Marines, you see, do some cool stuff. But yeah, it'll be nice if the Eldar get some of their own books and doing cool stuff. But how does this look? That looks absolutely terrible. I hate it. Oh, I didn't think about how difficult that circle would be to paint. Like, how the heck did they paint that circle originally? I've seen Groot kill Space Marines before. Like, I'm pretty sure I read one of the things of a Groot. Oh yeah, it was a Space Marines, and they were fighting Groot, and the Groot just like absolutely tore them to pieces. Books selling well means the books are good. The frame books were reportedly bad. Were they? Sad. Yeah. I guess that's why kind of she's gotten a bit shafted. I forgot she had books, to be honest. Like, I know she does have books. I know that she was relatively good in, other books she appeared in were relatively good. Like, I've heard a lot of stuff about, good stuff about, like, the Dark Imperium and so on. The Eldar are too safe in the setting if they're just not pushed to do anything. I guess so. I think the issue with trying to write stuff for the Eldar is the mixture of being very powerful and being very safe in the setting, while also being in a position where if you try doing too much of them, it doesn't make sense because, you know, they're meant to be limited. The main problem with Eldar is that they are the only faction that doesn't feel like they're advancing in some way. The Imperium didn't feel like it was advancing, like the entire lore up until the Dark Imperium and stuff like that. The Eye of Terror. Was that they were collapsing. The only things that went against the idea that the Imperium was collapsing, just very, very slowly, was the Macarius campaign, which happened like thousands of years before the main setting, like 2,000 or 3,000 or something. The victory at the Eye of Terror, which was then retconned into a defeat. And the campaign against the Tau, which ended up getting shafted by the Tyranid threat. That was like the only 3 things that occurred that kind of had the Imperium in recent years not losing. Or just very slowly collapsing in on itself until the Dark Imperium came along and the Eye of Terror got ripped in half. The Galaxy got ripped in half, Eye of Terror campaign was run, and then you had the Indomitus Crusade, and all of the Imperium is now allowed to advance. I thought Yvraine with her stuff was meant to be advancing for Eldar. I mean, at least we got the Harlequins back. The Imperium is being advanced by Carl and Gullum and Joe. Not just them. There's always been a faint underlying that there's been actors within the Imperium who have been trying to advance it, but they're doing so in a way that, well, they're not doing so in a way, but them doing that is considered heresy. But they're the reasons why you're still getting Titans being developed and why certain, you know, weapons and stuff suddenly make a resurgence. Because it's thanks to their efforts effectively copying STCs or building new ones with this engineering stuff that I finally allowed them to get these things built. So you did have like various attempts at advancing, but again, these were like very small pockets where things were being advanced. Very individuals trying to just advance what's around them more than anything else. But the Imperium as a whole was just doing the exact opposite. Now, Carl and Gulliman are... It's not just them. If you read the recent book that was about Carl, there's a character in that was almost branded a heretic, but Carl likes her. You got a bunch of characters like that are kind of, you know, very close to being branded heretics. But most of them are kind of working with Gulliman or Carl. You're going to make a Crusade character? I've made a few Crusade... Oh wait, Crusade character. What do you mean a Crusade character? Like, do you mean the Maelstrom characters, the Crucible ones? I've made a few of them. Or at least I'm going to turn this guy into a Crucible character. This Tau. A Shashnell Pathfinder. So he can join the Pathfinder squad. Yeah, the Crucible. Yeah, I've made a few of them. A lot of them are just like my old characters I've already built. But it's like, oh, I can finally like use proper stats for them rather than just kind of being a proxy. I've got a chaplain that has a heavy flamer and he's in Terminator armor. I built as a Crucible character now, so he's got a Pyre Blaster. There's a chaplain I've got in Gravis armor, that's a Crucible character. And I plan to also build a Gormonger Crucible character for the... Where are we looking? Oops, that's the wrong button. This one. If we go over here to Necromunda, I'm planning to take like one of these characters here into like a Gormonger character. I think there's a few that I have an idea for. Let me figure out which ones. You got this one over here, who could be good. Like, she doesn't have robotic legs, but she has the cool high heels. And it's like replace her head, maybe. And the chain axe could be good. Other character I was thinking about. Her, maybe. I swear there was another one I was looking at. Oh yeah, this one, because she's got the bionic legs. I thought maybe also replace her head and this arm. Or even both arms. That guy looks like a tout. And was there anybody else? Was one this way? He has a giant axe or something. I think the only way to move the Eldar forward would be an alliance between some of the craft lords of the Imperium. Yeah. Oh, I think if they bring back the God of Death for the Eldar, it would be great. I'm hoping that they get back, you know, the Shadow Spectres, whatever they're called, in plastic, and with them comes like an entire, you know, like an avatar of a God of Death. Individual model of a different style to the one they've got now. Maybe him. He could be good. But yeah, I'm going to have to say goodbye. Thanks for coming to the stream. Tomorrow we've got... where is it? Here we go. Here we go. Tomorrow we're going to be painting more. Then we paint the day after. Then we're building Tau. Then we got Rimworld. I've had a debut. And then reading the Maelstrom Law. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for coming to the stream. Whee! Ah! Don't forget to like. I love you all.